So Ravens flock, asking a player to fill in the shoes of another player who was one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time at his respective position is big ask of a rookie, but that is what we are asking from Tyler Loop. And I don't think he necessarily has to go out here and set the world on fire and hit 75-yard field goals and all of this stuff, obviously. But we do need him at the very least to come in prepared to play at the very least at a league average, because last year, Justin Tucker, as we all know, played well below average. Not just bad for Justin standards, but bad for field goal kickers across the NFL standards. He's coming off of a year where he only completed 73% of his field goals, which is 11% lower than his previous career low, and it was the 36th worst in the NFL. Like, he not just was a below average kicker last year, he was one of, if not the worst field goal kicker last year. And in the case of Tyler Loop, we need him to be, we can't tolerate just him coming in and being slightly better than that. We need you to be significantly better than that. Now, that doesn't mean we need him to be a guy who is setting records, but like 36 in the NFL, like, that's not going to cut it for what we're trying to do. We're not in a position where we could afford to wait for him to become a good kicker in 2 years. We only have one field goal kicker. We need, it's not like receiver or edge rusher or defensive lineman or tight end or running back where there's multiple guys and, depending on how much depth there is at the position, we could sort of let some guys figure things out. Like, no, we need you to be a competent kicker immediately. It is that simple. We need you to be a competent kicker immediately. And to go back to Justin Tucker last year, 73% of his field goals he made, which is the worst in the NFL and the worst of his career. He only made 96% of the extra points. He missed a few, so that put him at 22nd in the NFL. And to get to at league average, I would put it like the guy Will Lutz. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing his name right, on the Denver Broncos. The field goal kicker for the Denver Broncos, his name is Will Lutz. It's either Lutz or Lutz. I don't know which one. Either way, I'm going to use him as an example of a field goal kicker who, he's not the best in the NFL. He wasn't the best in the NFL last year, but he was kind of right in that sort of average sort of space where he was 13th in the NFL in field goal percentage. He made 91.2% of his field goals, and he made 100% of his extra points. So he was tied with first in the NFL for that. I'm not saying Tyler Loop has to be that good necessarily, but I would expect at least like 87, 88%. Like, we need you to be ready now. We have so many other things we have to worry about. We shouldn't have to put too much worrying or thought into if our field goal kicker is reliable. We just need you to be reliable. Unfortunately for Justin Tucker, last year, not only was it a down year for him, he was completely unreliable. Like, Justin Tucker single-handedly cost us 3 games last year. Whether you think about that Philadelphia Eagles game where we had several chances to take the lead, but Tucker missed 3 or 4 field goals. Whether you want to talk about the first Steelers game that we played. And there was one other game that I can't remember off the top of my head. But either way, there were several games that we lost last year simply based on Tucker missing field goals, missing extra points. And even one of those games, if we win them, that could potentially change our outcome in the playoffs this past season dramatically, because we would have played back-to-back games at M&T Bank Stadium instead of having to go on the road to Buffalo, which, as we all know, it technically wasn't a snowy game, but it had just finished snowing. There's ice on the ground, and I do believe that played a role in some of the outcomes in the game, whether it's Mark Andrews dropping the 2-point conversion. He low-key slipped on the snow. Whether it be Lamar getting the fumble after Tyler Linderbaum gave the bad snap. Lamar, by the time he gathered the ball and got back up, he's trying to get around, but he's kind of slipping and it just didn't work out. Long story short, we turned the ball over. And then also, in addition to that, who knows? Even when it comes to Tyler Linderbaum's botched snap that led to that fumble, maybe it was a bad snap simply because Tyler Linderbaum's hands was wet, or maybe the ball was wet. I don't know, but either way, field goals, while it's supposed to be a simple thing, this simple thing is, it can make or break your team, especially a team like ours where for so many years we were so dependent on Justin Tucker, because in previous years we had an offense that wasn't reaching its full potential. Now, thankfully, since we brought in Todd Monken, that's not really an issue at this point. Our offense, at least in the regular season and in the wild card round, it's clicking and reaching pretty much its full potential. But even with that being the case, there will be games here and there where it will be a necessity for us to have a reliable kicker, either to continue to add to a lead, to keep the other team at bay and kind of make us comfortably in the driver's seat, or at the very least, we're gonna need him maybe a few times, maybe once or twice. He may need to hit a game-winning field goal, maybe from 50 plus yards. Like it depends on how the season goes. But either way, what we need from Tyler is pretty simple. I'm hoping that he's ready for this moment, because we're not an average team. We're not a team that is hoping to bring him in and make him good in 2 to 3 years. We are a team that's in a Super Bowl window right now, and we need a kicker that can get it done right now. The Ravens, one of the undrafted free agents they brought in this year was a kicker out of, where was he from? He was from Wyoming. His name was John Hoyland. I don't know much about him. He also, from what I understand, reports are he also attended rookie minicamp with the Broncos. So I don't know if the Ravens just brought him in to be a camp body or whatever, but either way, I'm assuming that Tyler Loop being drafted in the first place, along with the fact that the Ravens immediately cut Tucker after getting him in the draft, I'm pretty sure the Ravens have a high amount of confidence in him. But I think it's just, for me, I know it's going to take at least 6 or 7 weeks. Our bye week is kind of early this year, earlier than I would like. So I'm assuming pretty much by the bye week, I'll know if I'm comfortable or not with the idea of trusting Tyler Loop as our field goal kicker. If we get to week 7 for the bye week and he's just been on fire, it's no big deal. If he's so-so, then you might be a little more concerned. But let me know, do you have any thoughts or any concerns regarding Tyler Loop, and if he is ready for this moment as the only field goal kicker on our team, and he's on a team that is literally on the brink of a Super Bowl run if they could just get out of their own way.